Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are and whatever time you see this video or show. So, today we have a very special guest. He's from Norway, Mr. Helge Christie. Welcome to the show, Mr. Helge Christie. How are
Thank,
you?
thank you very much. I'm well, yes.
Very nice. So, he is a farmer in the past, I'm probably currently also, and he is an author for many books. And recently, he got into neuro coaching. So he has been a coach. He's been coaching many people and motivating many people. So we'd like to know more about yourself. Please, can you help us out in understanding your career, how you started, and what all you did, and your books a little bit. And if you can help us out in knowing more about you, will be great.
Okay, thank you. Um, I was born in Oslo, the capital of Norway, and I studied biology uh, at university, and I fall in love with a farmer daughter, and she asked, "Will you join me at the farm?" And when I had biology interest, I said yes. So we have been farming for 36 years, and now our eldest son has taken over the responsibility for the farm. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that
I
is,
got that's very nice, very nice. And we also seen that, I mean, you have written a few books. Can you talk about your books too? What kind of books you have written, please?
yes. So when I became a farmer, I saw a farming economy was a problem. How can farmers in different countries get economic livelihood out of doing the farm work? So I then worked for 10 years at the global United Nations meetings, FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, to understand internationally how is the farming income constructed, and how can we improve it, etc. So when in the 1990s we converted our farm into organic, biological or organic farming because of environment and third world development and consumer interests in pure food, healthy food, etc. So when we had a group of 40 organic farmers locally, they closed down the slaughtery, they closed down the dairy, and we discussed what shall we do now? Shall we close down our farms too, or can we value add our organic milk and meat, and to get to sell it to the consumers and to the shops? So we created a organic dairy company that is in fact now with 35 employees. So it has increased a lot during the last 20 years.
Very nice, very impressive. I mean, see, mostly if you go to any country, I mean, let it be America or in India, I mean,
Yes,
farmers are not able to survive without any subsidies.
yes,
By the government. I mean, their government has to support them or supplement them with something, either tax-free or some loans or some in India nowadays they have to buy back the produce.
yeah,
So what is why is it happening? So why is a farmer not able to survive on his own? Why do you think? I mean, you've
yeah,
done a study work and you've been a farmer for 36 years and you've done some research on it. So
yeah.
why do you think farmers are not able to make a decent living out of farming?
A very good question. It is complex and difficult, and I think the global market and the World Trade Organization, the idea of free competition, it will hurt farmers in every country. So the idea that each nation should have the right and obligation to produce basic food for its own population, that is a very good idea, and that means something with border protection and national and local storage of food in front of possible crisis or lack of food, it should be more plan and less market, I think. And
Gotcha. Okay.
indeed, it's a value question. Should economic growth and free competition, should that be the aim, the values in the economy? Or should food sovereignty, food safety, health, should such values be more important than the free market? It's I think the coronavirus in Norway, for instance, such questions are coming up. What is the aim of economy? Why are we working? Why are we producing? What are the basic values? Is it nature, people, health, security? Is it something like that? Is it well-being? Yes. People are asking these questions.
Gotcha.
I'm
That's interesting. I know that yeah. I mean, the time has changed. I mean, now the earlier we've been focusing more on. So, what is the difference between, I mean, the way we were looking at the things before Corona and after Corona? Can you explain a little bit of what is the difference in what the way we were thinking, especially in the agricultural sector? So, what is the difference in thinking, please?
If I first say I've written 16 books, and
Yes.
all the books happens. I write to research first, and then I speak and I organize and I write articles. But it starts with research and creating books. So now with Corona, I'm very curious about what the opinion or large population parts are getting as insight. So, for instance, in Norway, many got insight that it is possible to have physical distance and social connectedness. Physical distance, so many video conferences are held, video meetings are held, I think, in many countries. So that means people get new insight. It is possible to have video conferences.
That is true, yeah.
Then we will get more time because we travel less. We can stay where we are and have the meeting. And also climate and transport will improve. Less transport and better climate. So that is one example of the Corona has got insight into people's head. Another is what are the most important values in society, in economy? When people are dying, people get sick, then health comes very high. Survive and safety, to be prepared for possible crisis, but we cannot see it, but it can come. So to create economy and society that is more prepared towards possible crisis. Many people are thinking something like this. We should be more prepared, not only just in time. The global supply chains, they are very vulnerable. If one country, if one region stops producing and you are dependent on them, everything stops up. So people get an idea, maybe we should have more local, more decentralized, more rural, not only large cities and long distance transport. What about the rest of the area, the rest of the people? People are starting to think these things. I'm very glad many people are starting to think these things.
So hopefully they will continue in that path, and then the whole rural areas will also improve, and also the lives of the farmers will improve. That is, let's hope for that. That's a good point. I mean, so what do you see what are the 16 books you have written about? Are they mostly on the farming, or what kind of books are they, if you don't mind?
The 5 first books, they were about economic preconditions for income for farmers in different countries. That was 5 books.
Oh, okay, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when we started the local organic milk dairy, it come up the question about what is in fact the local food history and traditions. Because we said, as a strategy for the organic dairy, we said, okay, we have organic milk and we have local produced milk, and we want a local history to the products. How old are they? How did the farmers make these products before? What will be the future? So food history, that is 7 of my books.
So what do you think the food and agricultural industry will be after this pandemic?
It is always going in 2 directions. It is more centralized and economic effective. On the other hand, consumers and farmers are interested in local products and the local history and the proudness of the specialities of the landscape and areas. So these are 2 ways, and they are parallel. And I hope the local and organic will and healthy will increase.
People are more conscious about the organic, health conscious nowadays, so they are preferring the organic if possible. That's very nice. Okay, so a farmer is only able to make money if they're able to produce organic produce. If they go to the regular conventional one, they are not able to make enough money. Is that right? Or
yeah, you have some right. Yeah, it is a tendency. Yeah.
Tendency. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the reason many farmers are moving to the organic farming and organic dairy?
Economic is one cause, yes, but also the idea of what is most healthy and what is most environmental friendly, and what is best for the local community if we have a small economic local circuits instead of everybody's producing for they don't know whom at the world market, but the local economic circles. If we can get the money to go between producers and consumers locally, we can increase livelihood of local communities. I guess, I hope.
Yeah, let's hope for that. Let us hope for that, because many sectors are struggling right now because of this pandemic, and hopefully these things will go away and come back to new normal. We'll talk about the new normal also down the line. So you've been a farmer and an author, and you moved on to the next profession, which is like neuro coaching. So what made you to go from farming to author to the neuro coaching?
One thing, of course, was the next generation. When the next generation take over the farm, I will not be the boss that decides for the new generation. I have to place myself another place. I will help at the farm, but I will not interfere in the new leadership at the farm. So when we made this organic dairy company, we had to organize a lot. I wrote books and analyzed, and in the meetings I was very curious, how is it we make so diverse people to agree in a strategy and aim and go in the same direction? So I was very curious about leadership.
Okay.
So that was in about 1992. I went to my first course in leadership management. And 4 of my books is on leadership. How do we make better meetings so we get out of a meeting with more inspiration than we went into the meeting, for instance. So this neuro coaching is my latest step in the education in how we lead, how we communicate better.
Gotcha. Very nice. So we like to know a little more about, first of all, what is coaching, and what is the neuro coaching. I mean, can you help us out in understanding? I mean, we've been hearing a coach and a motivational speaker, those kind of things. So what exactly the role of a coach or a coaching in general?
In general, it is very many things, but as I say it, I help leaders to create more strategies for more sustainable development. So that means, as a coach, I help leaders, I help people to do what they do in a better way. And to help, how you help people, then you have to ask and understand how people are thinking and how they are acting. So I help this process, very short.
Very short, gotcha. And what is a neuro? That is in general coaching. I mean, what is a neuro coaching? What do you mean by what is the difference between coaching and the neuro coaching? What is neuro coaching and what is different between these two? Sorry.
Yeah. So if coaching is to help people to function better, the neuro coaching has a focus on neuroscience and how is the brain functioning. So we are not so much guessing how to help people, but more scientific based and more evidence based. So I am, as a neurocoach, very curious about the brain networks, not parts, but the brain networks that we are using. We have feeling brain networks, we have a logical thinking brain network, and so we have this fascinating, I go up here and say it is a balance between feeling and thinking. I call it the wholeness, balance, system, perspective, network, where we are when we take most balanced decisions. And in all these difficult corona times, etc., we can have strong feelings and we can decide what is logical. But if we manage, or when we manage to get a balance, we will make better decisions. So that is important for me to help people now when they are frustrated and are stuck in different ways. How can we relax and make better decisions? So that is it is called the salience brain network, or I call it the wholeness balance network. So we are not stuck in either or, but we are more both, balance both.
That's cool.
That is also a very short way to say it.
Gotcha. So what is the fundamental to the neuro coaching? Like, let us say you brought about, feelings and the logical thinking. So, but what is it? Mainly your neuro coaching focus on or built on the fundamental. What are the fundamentals of the neuro coaching here?
There are many scientific publications also about mindfulness and what happened to us when we are mindful, when we relax. How can we access better our inner resources? So one of the things I do very often, even each 20 minutes, the yawning, to yawn. Yawning was forbidden 1400 because we were spotting the god. But what is happening when you wake up in the morning, when a dog wake up, when a cat wake up? This yawning, and yawn and stretch super slowly. We are stiff in our necks. When we yawn and we relax, stretch and relax, when we are de-stressed, then we are in a mindfulness state, or we are aware of what is happening inside us. There is a place where we can access both the emotions, feelings, and the logical, we have to do that and that, decision making, and we are possible to balance. And when we balance, it is possible to make better decisions. So each 20 minutes, I educate my leaders that I coach. Please use 60 seconds, yawn, stretch super slowly, relax, and be aware. What have you done the last 20 minutes? What will you do the next 20 minutes? Be aware. And when you are in this aware balance, you are relaxing, and you get access to your inner resources.
Gotcha. So you're, so I mean, is it, related to the, we have been talking about, when you said mindfulness, they say meditation and mindfulness, they go together. So what is the relationship between these two? Whenever we say mindfulness, people talk about meditation. So what's happening, during meditation, and what is the relation between these two?
Difficult question, and I can answer easily in a difficult question. So the yoga and the meditation, all these exercises is important for very many people. And when we look through the neuroscience, we see that, for instance, the yawning and these short, relax exercises, 60 seconds, you can do yoga, etc., for 1.5 hours during the morning, and you may become more balanced during the day. Another way, each 20 minutes, 60 seconds, yawn, stretch super slowly, 60 seconds, and relax. It has something of the same function, and it takes shorter time than 1.5 hours. It is part of the working day. You need to relax during the day, not only before the day or after, but during.
Gotcha. Mostly, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, please go ahead, continue.
Our brain, when we are focusing, we use our thinking, logical, decision-making brain. We focus, and then we get tired. What is it that we get tired? It is that the brain jumps from logical over to fantasy. You start to fantasy. And that is the daydream. It is the mind wandering. And that is the natural way for the brain to function. If that is correct, why don't we accept it? So we let the brain go each 20 minutes. We let it go away from focus, relax, and let the brain go. What comes up? We do that for 60 seconds. And so when we are more in balance, then we can decide, should we be more in the fantasy? Should we be more in the logical thinking? Or should we go up and try to balance them? To access the different and to shift between the brain networks. This yawn, stretch, relax is fabulous. Try it.
Gotcha. I mean, that's. I mean, if you go to the other Buddhist monasteries or their yoga classes or
Yeah.
even the meditation classes, they say the slow breathing, breathe slowly and exhale slowly. And when you breathe, I mean, they say focus on your breath. I mean,
Yes.
that's called a meditation, which is, I mean, in the process, they say you mentioned that, I mean, when the brain will be working on the logical side and then it'll move on to the fantasy side after some time. So you mean to say that the logical side is getting stressed out, and we it's not able to stay there for a long time, and so it is going back to relaxing mode of fantasy. So why is it? Is there any way to increase the stamina? I mean, does the meditation help in increasing the stamina, like the longer attention periods or longer concentration time frame? Is there a relation between these two?
Yes, of course it is, and from India and from the Far East countries, they have long traditions for that. So I respect a lot. But it is interesting now when we can have more brain scanning and see what is really happening when you meditate or you are mindful, and what if you can do it in 60 seconds. Something of it, access some of this relaxed state in 60 seconds during a working day. As I said, you can meditate or you can be mindful before you go to work, so you are in balance. If you use 1.5 hours, but what happens when you're working? When you're working, your brain gets exhausted in the logical, and it turns into feelings, emotions, and mind wandering. And that is the natural way for the brain. Please accept it and let it go to the mind wandering. For instance, each 20 minutes. Leaders in a company should urge their employees to do this exercise each 20 minutes. In school, we have 45 minutes, and we force the children to focus in 45 minutes, and that is nearly impossible for the brain. The brain wants to play. The brain wants to go mind wandering after a while. Yes, please let it go there for 60 seconds and then back it to focus.
Gotcha. But most of the times our mind would like to be in the wandering state rather than on the logical state. Is that right?
Yeah, or maybe 50-50. We force ourselves to be logical 50% of the time, but the brain goes 50% imagination, fantasy.
Gotcha. Very nice.
So accept it and use it as resources, because the fantasy, we use it for creative problem solving. We use the fantasy, we need the fantasy. When we visualize, we imagine. That is not a scientific fact that we are seeking, but we imagine and use our fantasy. That is very important to be creative. So please do that, but we have to balance and to shift. When the one is tired, when it's too much thinking, we have to go fantasy. When it's too much fantasy, we have to shift back. So this shifting, and when we make clever decisions, we have to balance them. And that is to go into another network, this wholeness balance network in the brain. And then to go there, we need to be mindful. We need to be de-stressed. We need to relax, very relaxed, deep relaxing to go there. Then we make much better decisions than when we are stressed and think logic, or we are in fear and think fear. What kind of decisions are we making then? To balance between the emotions like fear and happiness, and to think logical. The balance is the magic, I think.
Very nice. I mean, recently I saw episodes of Buddha on Netflix. I mean, Buddha was saying that, I mean, you have to come into the middle.
Yeah.
Now I could understand, what he was meaning or come into the middle.
Okay.
The balance between the emotional and then the logical thinking, you need to be in the middle and then make the decision. Probably that's what he meant.
Yeah.
These are the preachings that have been there from the Buddha 2,500 years back, and some of them, which is even philosophical way, and now we're coming on the scientifical. The neuroscience and neuro coaching is relating the philosophical thing with the science, which is nice. So, but at the same time, there are many things. So, what is that motivation? Like, let us say when you coach the leaders. So, leaders are. What is what do we see in a leader? What are the qualities of a leader, or who should be called as a leader? Can you explain a little bit more on that one, if you don't mind? Because you are the coaching, so we are trying to make somebody as a leader. So, what is that basic fundamental qualities a leader should have, or what is that? Yes, we look for in a leader.
Yeah. So, every person may be leader in different ways of life or work, and that was one first thing. And if we think about the talents people have, what are people doing? We are thinking. We are feeling or making relations. That is internal. And external, we are speaking and we are doing, executing. So we can be leaders in thinking, we can be leaders in relationship building, we can be leaders in influencing and speaking, we can be leaders in executing. That is 4 different ways. And when we use the Gallup system of talents, every person has 34 talents. And they are about 8 on thinking, 8 on relationship building, 8 on saying or influencing, and 8 on executing. 8 different talents. Each person has a lot of different talents. So that means you can be a leader using your talent in these 4 or 34 different ways. It is very many ways you can be a leader, and one good idea is that do what you are best to do. What if people do? What if we help people to do what they are best to do instead of fixing what people are not so good to do? When you are a leader and you do what you are best to do, you are the best way of leader you can be at the moment. Of course, you can learn other things, but start with what you are best to do. That is one way of looking at leadership. And when you lead, you often lead other people, okay? So then the communication, leadership skills are very important. I use compassionate communication, deep listening communication, it can be called. So when a leader use 4 to 7 words, 4 to 7 words is what our short time memory may remember. A leader can speak with 4 to 7 words and stop and ask the employee, what do you understand with that? What you think, what you feel about that, and stop and listen. And what the employee say back. In that, there are some keywords. When the leader listen, that means listen, say back one of the keywords that the employee said. Say back the same word. Then the employee feel, wow, I'm seen, I'm heard, I've got a voice, and feel very well. Then you connect. Instead of the leader telling what you have to do, ask, listen, and repeat back. 4 to 7 words. 10 words or less. Stop. Let the employee come with their feelings. And if you manage to both yawn, stretch, relax both the boss and the employee, and they have this kind of compassionate communication, 10 words or less, listen, stop, repeat back what the other say. It goes slowly, but it goes deeply. And
Very
okay.
That's a very good point. I mean, very good compassionate communication, which is we have explained it very well. And I mean, most of the times that's what happens, right? I mean, when we talk to someone, I mean, we mean something and the other person interprets in a different way. So why does it happen? Why is it like, I mean, why there is a difference in understanding, or why when we call it as a communication gap? So why the same, let us say if we say this, look at the same object or same scene, I mean, we two different brains interpret it in multiple ways. So
Okay.
why is it happening, and why are we looking at it differently rather than coming to the same conclusion?
People are so different. People are very different. Let me take one case. When we have these 34 different talents each person has, and the top five of these 34, and number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, the chance that I meet another person with the same top 5 is 1 to 33 million people. That means people are so different in so many ways. So it's possible to misunderstand. Okay, it's a pity, maybe, but we have to accept it, that people are different. So when we accept it, I say something, another interprets it to be something very different. I see this, I hear this, then I can ask, what is happening inside you? I said that. What is happening? What do you feel? What do you think? What kind of body sensations happens in you when I did that? When you listen to that, you ask and you listen. They say, I heard or I thought you said that and that. Okay. Why did you think about that? Why did you interpret it like this? Not defend me, but be curious about the other person. And so when you listen to that other person that says, I thought you meant that and that. And when I relax completely and I'm curious, why did you do that? What do you mean about what you feel or mean about that? Which meaning has that for you? I listen to the other person that may explore how they feel, how they think, and I accept they are different. They may be happy because I'm listening to them. Then it doesn't matter what I said. The question is, I listen to the other person and accept and respect what the other says, and maybe ask, what can I do to help you to do your work or your relationship better? Okay, then the discussion shift from me saying something that is misunderstood to I shift into what is the concern of the other people. May I help the other people, the other person? And when I am flexible and I want to help the other person, the intention is good and the result may also be good, better.
Gotcha. No, thank you very much. I mean, Rajni, do you have any question to ask, please?
Yeah, I do actually. So there is this thing with a family. There are, let's suppose there are 4 or 3 kids in a family. So the the parents bring their kids in a same manner. They have they give same upbringing to all their kids. They give the same treatment to all their kids, even though the kids believe that the parents have their favorite child, but it's not like that. So the parents give the same kind of upbringing to same kid and the same all of the kids in a same way. But even then, why is it that they all the four or all the five or the number of kids that the family has, they are completely different. One might be a empath, and the other must be not caring about anyone, and the other must be really caring about what people are thinking about him or her, and the other must be curious to know things about the universe, or curious just the way you are, maybe. So why is that the case scenario? When the same kind of upbringing is given to all the kids, and the same kind of treatment is given, so why do we have that kind of nature in a family which is having let's suppose 4 kids or 5 kids? So why is that?
Yeah. My explanation of it is that people and children are so diverse. There are so many differences, and the first thing is to accept that. That is how I think about it. And when we go to this, it's called meta programs, how we are thinking or feeling. We have a list of 60 different meta programs that people are using, that are steering their autopilot, what they are doing. That is a list of 60 different ways. When we look at these talents or the strengths of people, and we have 34, we may divide it in 34. It is possible that our children are a mix of both parents, and they are very diverse. And for instance, they can be strong in thinking talents, or relationship building talents, or speaking talents, or executing talents. That is only 4, but each of them has so many as 8 different talents. And when the children, they are born with the different talents, they can develop their talents to be strengths. But what is the function of the parents? The parents may help the best in each of the children, instead of saying, I'm the father, I want you to be like me. But they are not. But how can I help you to develop what is your intact talents?
Yeah.
So the role of parents can be to what you call urge the children to develop their best talents, and to respect that their siblings are different from themselves, and they may be different from their parents in some ways, and of course also similar in some ways.
Very nice, Mr. Helge. I mean, what I read, and heard is when you talk about Rajniji, you can mute it.
Yeah, just a second.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that. When you talk about, different people perceiving, perspectives are different. What I heard is they interpret based on their emotions in the body, a mind, and also the previous knowledge in the mind. So they try to relate whatever they have received, or and then try to interpret according to the data they have in their brain. So is that how the brain works?
That is one of the way the brain works. Life and brain is so diverse. So I have talked about talents, and in balance to talents, we have the values. So the children are also very diverse in their values, and to find your own talents is important and difficult, takes time, and to find your own values. And in these corona times, many people have started to think, what is the real meaning of life, or what is most important in my life? What is most important? That is a question. What is most value for you? So that is your personal values.
Okay.
So to help your children to find their deepest, innermost values, and to when you work with leaders and colleagues in a team, to accept that others have other values that are important for them. Each person that can follow their values, and so in a team find a balance. So, for instance, one person say peace, another say compassion, one say deep listening, one say love. They have different words that may connect. So in a team, when you have a bit different values, but when you make them connect, the personal values may link to the values of the company, of the organization. When you manage to get these links between the personal innermost values, because the innermost values is what is often motivating us when we take a decision. What are we doing when we take a decision? Then we are, in a way, listening, or automatically doing our most important values. Maybe we don't are conscious about our innermost values, but we use them in our autopilot when we take 10,000 decisions each day. What is deciding it? If not conscious in our brain, it is our values that are deep, doing it unconsciously. So to find your innermost value, that is a very important exercise. When you live in balance with your value, you live in balance with your motivations.
Yeah, you brought in, the motivation. I mean, but when you say the motivation, I mean, when we start a project, or when we start a work, or when we talk to a new employee, we're all excited and motivated. I mean, we have energy for 1 month or 2 months. After that, I mean, we kind of, I mean, we slow down. So how do we keep motivated? I mean, throughout the end of the project. I mean, not many people will be able to focus and then do it. So what is your suggestion for those kind of situations?
I think when that happens 2 or 3 months and you lose your motivation, then you have to take a new value process to ask, what are the most important values? Then you see that the words on the values you had 2-3 months ago, they are not good enough when it has gone 2 or 3. So you have to take it a new time to ask, what are my most important values? And the other in the team do the same. And accept that you are finding better words on your values because you are going deeper. It is okay to change. It is okay to improve, because it takes a long time to find your innermost values.
Gotcha. And this is about, I mean, motivating yourself. Let us say you're working in a team and you're leading it, and how do you motivate your team members?
Yes. Each team member has different motivation triggers. So a good leader is asking and listening, what are the employees say they are motivated by, and accept it. Not force values on people, but accept, be curious, try to understand. When I hear you say this, you want it to be more compassionate or more friendly at the workspace. Give example. Please give example. And accept, okay, that is one of the values of this employee. So to accept and also appreciate that the employees are telling their values. So when you can be glad for what they are saying, respecting it, and using it. So next time a person wants the meeting to be more friendly, okay, listen to that person. The next time, do it more friendly, and also say, I do it more friendly because I heard you said you want that. That person will be very happy.
Gotcha.
Go deeper and find the values. The values may be produce more, be more rich, but it can also be more deeper than that, I think.
Gotcha.
So I think in the corona, so many people, they got the question, how important is a good health for me? Yeah. How important is it to survive? How important is it to be secure in a community, to have work, to have income, to have a social network? How important are these things? Also to respect nature. When we are destroying nature, it will go back on us. Climate change, for instance. When we respect nature and be near to nature, deep respect for nature, maybe in our heart we can be more balanced persons and not so greedy. And people that are in balance with their innermost, deepest values, they will be more happy at work, in the free time, in the family, in the local community, to find the deepest values in people and a company is important, as to find the talents. What are you best to do? What do you love to do? Love to do, that is your values.
Gotcha.
So
It's very nice. I mean, so what do you? I mean, another one point before we go to the last topic. I mean, everybody that we see more. Some people are more physically energetic. Some people are more mentally energetic. Like, I mean, they can do. I mean, one math problem or another math problem, or go to another one or another. They will be able to solve. They're okay. They will not be exhausted mentally.
Yeah.
Some people can run for 5 miles or 6 miles and they're okay. And so when we call some of them high energy people, so why can anybody be trained as a with the high mental energy?
okay.
Is it possible to coach somebody to increase their mental energy? Like, is it possible?
Yes or no? Yes or no? Of course. Reality is often diverse, complex. First, we are born, in a way, we are born. We have seen our parents and our role models and learned from them. We can change habits, but it may be difficult. To change a habit or a belief, you have to work often on your values to find what are the most important values in you. How can I use the most important values to change my belief, change my habit? We say that to change a habit, a small habit, is maybe train every day for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days. That will help. If it is a small habit you want to change, it is possible. If it is a large, complex, it may take a very long time, and you may split it up in smaller parts. What happens when we have the new year and people say, oh, I want to change that and that. Okay. And so we do it for 5 days or 7 days and we see no result. Okay, forget that. But when you decide to change a small habit and you do it each day, several times a day, you focus on it and train to do the alternative for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, then we are at 30 days, it is possible you have managed. But most people, they stop long before they see the result. It is hard work.
You're right. I mean, what I read looks like, what I read is, you will not be able to change your old habits, but it is easy to, we understood from your theory that, it is hard to change the old habit. But how is it easy to develop a new habit?
if it is a small step, it is easier. And if you manage to do the change work like permanent micro success, so you succeed in small steps. For instance, each evening you make a list. What is the best I've done in this field today? A positive list. I appreciate, I'm glad for, I'm happy, I have managed. And you write down this list. Okay, I have a problem that I want to solve, and you sum up, I've done that and that and that. That goes in the right direction. And so you start the next day and see, I will do the same as yesterday and maybe something more to solve the problem. When you do that for 7 days, you have a list of, if it is the top or 5 positive times 7, then you have 35 during 1 week. And in 2 weeks, you have more. In 3 weeks, in 4 weeks, then you may improve when you read your list with all the things that you do that goes in the right direction. Make small steps, permanent micro success. I jump from success to success to success, and I feel better. I want more of this success. It motivates. Instead of, I want to change a large thing, I will be the richest or the best or something like that. That takes many 10 years times many. That is so large, so people give up. Make smaller aims and build like bricks in the same direction. So then it's possible, but it takes time and effort because you have to change beliefs and habits.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. So you've been doing so much of research on the personalities and also the business side. So what do you think of the new norm would be during the corona pandemic? I mean, we have gone through, I mean, before there was one norm, I mean, restaurants, we used to go out and travel, tourism, many places we used to go, without that kind of environment. Now the current situation is we are not able to travel. Everybody is conscious about their own health, and so they're not going out and meeting other people. So what would be the new norm going forward? I mean, how do you see the businesses, everybody can survive, or new business environment will be, small business especially?
Yeah, and actually it was a large question. I call it, as you say, we have to go forward. We will not go back. We have to go forward and into the new, I call it, sustainable normal. Not go back to the old normal. That was problem in many ways. And to find what is better, what is more sustainable. That is a discussion about what are the values, what are the most important things. People, they need food, they need health, they need jobs, but do they need economic material growth? Do they need to destroy nature? So respect for nature, respect for people, health first, be prepared for possible crisis, take care of your local community. Can your company do something for the local economy so that more people get jobs and income, and you can serve locally? When people go together locally and discuss this, people, they have the new ideas in their head and their wants. If they are respected, if they are listened to, if they cooperate, they can create, we are creating the new normal. People are creating the new normal. We don't have to go back to the same old normal that had problems. We can create new when we start to discuss what are the most important values. that we want to build. And that is different in different sectors and different local communities, etc. I believe in people.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Very much. For all this information and your views. So, do you have any message or anything else you want to talk, or anything else you want to share, or do you have any message to our audience?
Thank you for listening. And I to be optimistic, that is, instead of creating the old normal, we can create a new normal that is more sustainable, more just, fair, more environmental friendly than it was before. We don't need to do all the same faults as before. We can create something better. And you and you and you are important to create the new future where you are in your situation. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Helge Christie, for coming on the show and sharing your thoughts and views and information. And we wish to see you again after a few weeks on our show again. Thank you.
Thank you.